Tang putting up one of their new players to the squad first. We have seen this throughout many of the World Championship teams. Super Barbarians, interestingly, used on this one. We don't always see them. One of those used to funnel the mortar towards the outside of the base for this queen to charge directly into the town hall, and a swift deployment of a couple of wall breakers gives her direct access to that. Air Sweeper actually does him a bit of a favor, pushing the healers out of range of the town hall.
Yeah, now he's using that invisibility spell, which is really cool if you're charging like multiple defenses at once, because it makes your queen invisible and not being able to get targeted by that Inferno Tower. So really nicely done. And one thing, as you said, which is really interesting to see, he's using those super barbarians. I feel like this is the first time us seeing those super troops in this tournament. Now we have the Clan Castle coming out. This is looking like another damaged Clan Castle with those headhunters. He needs to poison and freeze those to get somehow alive out of this situation.
Yeah, he needs to be careful. The Air Sweeper might have done him a favor initially, but now it is pushing his healers back, giving his queen a lot more damage. He's managed to remain calm through this situation, use the second rage spell entirely, very quickly to protect the queen. Very good to pop the tornado trap as well, particularly for the hybrid attack. He knows his Hog Riders aren't going to have to deal with that. Miners deployed first. Alongside the Hog Riders, you see the King's ability on the outside in order to force them onto the inside. Queen is also tanking two of the Expos right now, and she might have to use her ability because of that, but it does mean there's a lot less fire on the hybrid as it moves through.
Yeah, we have now the Miners and Hog Riders engaging that enemy heroes. We have the Headhunter though coming in and perfectly timed to take on the enemy king. This is such a nice timing part on the attacker, and now we have the Hogs, we have the Miners, we have everything getting into the back, and we have only that Eagle, and at the bottom side we have the Multi-Inferno Tower somehow staying alive, somehow being a defense for the space. But this is looking such like an insane overkill. The Queen and the core taking down the enemy Warden, and the Miners and the Hogs just cannot die. It feels like we have more Miners and more Hogs alive than the beginning of the attack. With the Roger ability, the last Inferno Tower is going down, and this Judo is going to be the first 3-star of the tank. And you said, this team, you should never underestimate them, and the tank is just showing off today. Such a crazy start into the match, and that's exactly what we were looking for.
You can have a multi-target Inferno on the back end of the base all you want, but if you have all of the Hog Riders and Miners left up, which I think you are right, there pretty much was 15 Miners and 10 Hog Riders powering towards it, it will do nothing. What a dominant attack. And this is what we have seen from the World Championship teams coming out with a 3-star. But Method to Madness did get the victory yesterday. They have been able to progress themselves into this round, and actually a lot of the community have them going quite far in this tournament as well, so they won't be too worried about that. They will be concentrating on their own game, and let's find out if it will be the responding 3-star. I certainly hope it is.
Yeah, that would be great for this war. But one thing I would like to add is that Method to Madness is getting really far in most of the community leagues. So they're really, really good in those 5v5 formats. And I mean, if there's a team out there which can come back from the situation there quickly, I feel like they are, especially they're really good with the pressure moments. So let's see if they can somehow push this back into the tank side. But they need to get the 3-star early. They need to make sure that they are not getting pushed into a corner like a lot of other teams earlier just did. And for most of the teams, it's really hard to get out of this corner again, because not a lot of teams were able to do that. I feel like maybe 1 or 2, except that not a lot. And now we have Beige coming in, and he's choosing the same army composition and going in with the Queen Charge Hybrid as well. He's even bringing as well the invisibility spell into this attack.
Well, he did get the 3-star yesterday, so he will be wanting to continue that streak and get things back on, or straight on track for Method to Madness, despite losing that first 3-star to Vatang. Beautiful funnel set up down to the bottom of the base. It's often tricky to charge your queen into these areas, but manages to do that very well. Tornado Trap is popped. It's always nice to just get that out of the way, particularly when it doesn't really do anything to your attack, since it is such a powerful defense. I like how he's going to be able to take down the Archer Queen here first before stepping to the Town Hall, and the Queen should be able to reach pretty well, get pretty good value here because she could reach the scatter shot and the Inferno as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he has done the right decision at the beginning, like choosing the invisibility spell early, because I feel like now the invisibility spell would have been awesome. Making everything like not invincible, but like invisible at this point would have been huge. So not sure. The wall breaker is coming in. Wall break perfect, but the healers are still in this multi-influence tower, and that's never a good sign for those healers.
Yeah, there's not a lot he could do. You're absolutely right. The multi was just shredding the healers all of the time. Queen unable to help out. A good Warden ability protects everything through the middle, but the Royal Champion is stuck on the Lava Hound now. And even when that pops, the Royal Champion will then be stuck on the pups. Grand Warden helping out there as well. Does fortunately move forward with the Hog Riders, but is it too little too late for this attack? Difficult to say, but the Hog Riders are taking a huge amount of damage, and he doesn't have any heal spells left.
Yeah, no heal, no freezes left either, and now it's up to the Royal Champ. The Royal Champ, in combination with this Warden, needs to take down the rest of the space, otherwise it is going to be really tricky to get the 3-star. The Warden is surviving, which is huge, because this is providing the Royal Champ with some more extra damage, because the Warden is following that Royal Champ. There are 3 more defense on the back end, but Judo, I don't think this is going to be enough, especially with the Skeleton Trap popping up.
Yeah, it probably wasn't enough anyway, was it, with the Archer Tower and the Cannon? Super unfortunate there. Like you said, maybe just saving the invisibility for the healers and the Archer Queen. A quicker deployment of the Wall Breaker, perhaps, to try and just coerce the Queen in towards that multi-target Inferno could have made things different. It is a high percentage into the 90s, as we always kind of expect within these tournaments, or which is the benchmark, should I say, but it is going to be advantage for Tang after the first round of attacks.
Yeah, that's right, and we kind of have the same situation like in most of those matches where a team is getting really early lead. Let's see if they can push this further, especially like seeing that Vatang is one of the teams which is having this lead. They can push this even further. They have a lot of other really, really good players on their roster. And looking really forward to see what they're going to do next, because I have to say I have not seen them too often recently in the Community League, so I'm really looking forward to what strategy they're going to bring up next. They just started in with the Queen Judge Hybrid. That was I would say, a pretty big overkill. So let's see if they're going to go once again with the hybrid, or they're going with some other strategies, because I feel like so far the hybrid was a really good strategy for this tournament. A lot of pros using that, and has one of the most the highest hit rates so far. And we're going to see something close to that, which is Queen Charge Hog Riders, Judo.
Wow. We have not seen this attack, and it is definitely out of the meta. I think with the Queen Charge Miners is arguably a better attack in the meta. The Hog Riders can struggle quite a bit. So this one definitely has caught my attention. The Battle Blimp takes out the scatter shot in the center there, and also carves a huge section of the base for the Archer Queen to walk down to the south and in towards the Town Hall, having the defensive pathing set up for the Hog Riders.
Yeah, the biggest problem I have normally with Hogs is they're so weak when it comes down to HP. So like only one missed freeze or one missed warden ability when it comes down to scatter shots, for example, or like giant bombs. It is really tricky to recover from that, because the heal spell obviously is like ticking over time, which means it takes some time for the heal spell to actually work on those troops. So yeah, it's a tricky army composition. It can work really great in the hands of those pros. At the same time, it's a quite risky take. And take a look at those black mines. There were 3 black mines, but I think, didn't they all hit the same healer?
I'm not too sure. It does look like he's still got a bunch of healers. I can't tell whether he lost 1 or 2, but either way, the Queen is going to continue. He's lost some of the healers. Is she going into the Town Hall here? King does not have the ability, and she could continue to walk around the outside, Itsu.
Yeah, now he has two ground expos on the Queen. That's a lot of damage. He needs to somehow angle the wall break that the town compartment is getting open as well, which is not happening. So he has access to the second scatter shot, but I don't think that this was the priority for him going into that. He needs another rage to keep his Queen alive, and this Queen is Oh my goodness, this is getting so close with this Queen HP. The Queen is just skipping that scatter shot. Now he needs to do something for that town hall. There's 2 freezes, yes, but still, this is quite a risky Royal Champion over there.
Certainly is, with the grounded Expo just behind it. Hog Riders are tanking it a little bit. Uses 1 freeze. He still has the Royal Champion's ability, so that is in the bag. But it's a little bit surprising to me that he used the Hog Riders, given 4 grounded Expos as they move on through. You see towards the back end of the base, they are just now struggling. Still has a freeze, but we have the Eagle multi 3 wizard towers, a bomb tower, Expos. It is not going to happen for LansLota here, and it is a slip up for Vitang. We have seen this in previous wars where the other team can then bounce back and apply some pressure. Is that what Method to Madness are going to be able to do here, Itsu? Because it is an 80% 2-star for Vitang.
This is definitely a chance for Method to Madness coming back into the next attack. Or can come back into this match overall, and this now, the door is open. Let's put it like this: the door is open for them to come back, getting the push back in there. And Vitang, yeah, it kind of surprises me, but the next attack is already going, and we have Coffee coming in with the Super Witches.
Well, we've seen the success of this strategy. I always look at the spell composition. 3 jump spells in this one, Itsu. So it's interesting that he's taken 3 jump in order to just get all of the way through the base. No super wall breakers. And we also have 2 invisibility for the back end of the base. 20 seconds remain on the Grand Warden walk, or the desired time. I thought he was potentially going for the Town Hall, but actually decides to deploy the super witches and the king to just dive into the Town Hall relatively safe.
That's a really cool move to use the king over there, because this is saving him a lot of time, making sure the 1 walk is not lasting for too long. Now the first Black Man is hitting those healers, though. It's impressive. It's so impressive how those base builders are predicting the healer pathing so nicely. And we have it kind of like every single time those healers are getting caught in those Black Mines. But now the core, it is all of the damage in that core with the scatter shot on the outside. This time we do not have a king circling the outside, so there's tanking power missing because the king is now in that outside compartment at the bottom side. The invisibility spell on that Royal Champion, keeping her alive, and now everything is getting into that back end skeleton compartment. The Eagle, though, is still alive. Royal Champion ability nicely used to catch all of the DPS at the top side, and now it's all about those super wishes pushing into the last skeleton compartment.
Very nicely used with that Royal Champion's ability. He still has a ton of Super Witches, a minute left over, and an invisibility spell for the Royal Champion. This looks incredibly promising for Coffee of Method to Madness to bounce back versus Vitang. The Queen's ability still to go as well. Hasn't used the invisibility yet, or the Queen's ability. Maybe he should be using them to speed things up here. You never know with a war that starts this close whether time will be the defining factor. What is he doing, turning the building invisible? Oh my word. I mean, just trolling us and Vitang, but you never know when that could be costly.
Yeah, I just want to say that obviously it's kind of funny, but at the same time it's not the smartest thing to do, I would say, because it's time. Time is a tiebreaker in this tournament, so saving a couple of seconds is only the better choice, but actually on purpose wasting time, not really sure if that was the smartest thing to do. So either way, they're back in this match, which is the important thing to say, and they're even in the lead with their percentage. So let's just hope that it's not going down on time. That would be a little bit unfortunate, I would say.
Well, I have huge admiration for the attacks of Method to Madness. They really showed us a show yesterday, putting on just incredible stuff, particularly the log launcher and lightning spell. I can't get how incredible that was. But you have to say, when stuff like that starts to happen, is it getting to their head this early on in the tournament? And when you have teams that have blown out with such ferocity today, getting perfect wars and holding off teams that got a perfect war yesterday, you have to be able to keep your cool and move forward in the tournament. Having said that, they did exactly what they needed to do there, get a 3-star, move themselves back in the lead. So who am I to talk? Method to Madness in the lead at this stage, and they just need to hope they can continue that moving forward.
Yeah, now the Tang is next. They're known for doing quite risky attacks sometimes. I think we just witnessed one of those with the Queen Charge Hawks, which is really uncommon, I would say, considering how low on hit points those Hawk Riders are. Yes, you're using those Hawk Riders in combination with miners, but I feel like just this combination makes Hawks so powerful. But at the same time, only Hawks on their own, they're sometimes kind of weak to like double, or we saw with triple giant bombs earlier yesterday in one of those matches. So I feel like that's really risky. I hope they're going to go a little bit more to the traditional style back, even though considering that they should do their creative stuff, but maybe not Hawk Riders. But let's see what they're coming up with the next attack either way. And let's wait for the strategy which is about to happen from the Tang.
Yeah, it was an interesting approach using the Hog Riders like that, particularly with all of the grounded expos like we've seen. It didn't really work out for them, but for Tang, need to have a response on this one. The Lava Loon strategy, we have seen this pulling in multiple 3-stars throughout the war. So let's see if the Tang can turn things around here. JungHun, which was part of their finalist team last year, lots of experience. He needs to step it up now for their team.
Yeah, he's bringing once again in the log launcher. Let's go. Like my favorite Siege machine to watch, especially in the hand of pros. Like, it's always so creative. I hope that he's not switching away from that, but he so far has played the Ice Golem, the King, and everything in the top side. It's looking pretty good. Now the Headhunter should just make sure things are staying healthy in there. Now there's the log launcher rolling in the logs into that core, so he has access to this core scattershot compound. That's what it's looking like. Using the Royal Champ to push his heroes, to push his king and queen into this core, making sure nothing could just get distracted from the outside. And this is looking so far pretty solid, I feel like.
Just watching those logs rolling on through is fantastic. Maybe he could have funneled the outside a little bit better here for the Queen to have been pushed in. He now has the Yetis moving forward, but is he going to get the scatter shot? And is he going to be able to get the Expo in the middle as well?
Yeah, the scatter shot would be the key defense to get. And it looks like, oh my goodness, this Yeti is getting the scatter shot. That was so cool. And even the Expo is going down. That is so crazy from JungHun. Such a cool plan. And now we have the Lalo starting right into that town hall. The Warden is following nicely. The Tornado Trap was triggered early, so that's great that that's out of the way. And now the Warden ability to... Oh my goodness, this last second Warden ability. That was crazy timing.
That's incredible because he protected the balloons as they move into that dangerous area of the multi. Take it down. And you have kept saying it, Sue, how crushing some of the Lava Loon attacks have been. Just look at all of the balloons left on your screen as they split left, right, up, down. They go everywhere to the remaining non-defensive buildings. And JungHun is bouncing things right back here for the Tang in style as well. What a crushing attack. And the finer details of that were just incredible. The calculation of what was required for the inside of the base was absolutely next level.
Oh my god, I thought he wanted to push his heroes into the core, but instead it was just like, okay, my heroes are going to push my heroes so the log launcher with those Yetis can actually get into that core. That was so cool, taking down the Expo and the scatter really nicely, and luring out the Clan Caster as well, just to make sure that he has no problems later on, especially if those would have been like headhunters or things like that. So really nice plan, making sure the Tang is back in this, and they're still here to play and make sure that, well, Method to Madness have to fight for this win. And, well, now it's up to them again, getting back into, like, pushing their lead, I would say, because they were before just this attack. They were in the lead percentage-wise. So let's see if this is going to happen. But so far, I have to say, this match is bringing up a ton of fun strategies. Even though I have to say, not the biggest fan of the Hawk attack, but this one just there was definitely worth it. And JungHun getting it done with that 3-star and pushing back the Tang into the right direction.
It's like you said earlier, Itsu, being able to see attacks that are in the meta that we normally see, like a Lava Loon attack, but being able to adapt it in that kind of way is just phenomenal to watch. And the fact that they can plan attacks like this in such a short period of time always blows me away. But it is Method to Madness back in again, and if they were to 3-star, they maintain their lead. We have seen this a couple of times today where the teams are just back and forth in terms of the 3 stars. So let's see if Method to Madness can do exactly what they need to and return the attack.
He's using an Electro Dragon. I still try to figure out why exactly he's doing that. Because, I mean, so far this is 30 troop space. I'm not sure if that was worth it. But still looking forward to see what exactly is going to happen next in that part of the base. Because we have at the top left already the Queen and the King starting. And now we have Sneaky Goblins and the the Royal Champion on that right side. So really surprised by this entry, and now we have a skeleton spell getting used as well, just to make sure that he's getting that town out of the way, I guess, with that invisibility spell, or maybe he's just using a couple of freezes. I have no clue what is going on right now.
Well, I thought at first he was using it to activate the town hall, but it didn't really make too much sense. I guess for the Royal Champion, and the shield goes all of the way through to the center. What type of attacks are we witnessing here, Itzu?
That is so crazy. Royal Champion shield on top of the town hall to bounce the inner scatter shot to make sure with the double lightning taking that out. And now we have the clan castle. Here's still 1 lightning left to make sure if there are any headhunters in there, he can take those out. The headhunters approaching his warden, needs to poison them up, making sure that he's doing that. Now the lightning, perfect timing, and the warden can easily follow the loons into the base. Now needs to use the skeleton spell, maybe a couple of headhunters to get rid of this enemy hero pair, which is still alive. And now it's all about the back. And there's a double multi-inferno tower still left, which can be really, really scary for this Lalo. But still, there are a ton of spells left still to use, and this is not looking too bad.
This almost seems like our draw, Itzu, when we first drew the teams and we just used so many spells in order to create an attack. It was a Lava Loon as well, and can you believe that he is ever so close to pulling off a strategy with this amount of spells? And the creativity here was unbelievable. We have seen this yesterday from Method to Madness. Again today, the Tang are showing exactly how they are, but they are struggling to match Method to Madness. And again, they have taken the lead. It is just on percentage, but the percentage could be the defining factor here because each team are at the top of their game.
Yeah, when I was thinking about the World's Warmup Tournament, I was thinking about exactly attacks like this. Those crazy Royal Champion tricks, the Log Launcher, things like that, where pros are going above and beyond when it comes down to the planning and everything. So really looking forward. I hope they keep going with this because this is just so entertaining to watch. And I don't know, I'm really speechless at this point. Like the creativity level of them with like the Royal Champion shield on top of the Town Hall, then using the skeleton spell to activate that Town Hall, like Earthquake obviously would have been a choice as well, but he wanted to apparently have like this extra tanking to the enemy warden with the skeleton. So really interesting moves over there. And I'm still kind of confused by this E-Dragon in the beginning, like taking out a couple of defense over there. I guess it was mainly to scout for a Tesla farm, but I guess it worked out in the end anyway. So just looking forward to the next attack from the Tang, and I just hope they keep going.
Yeah, that's an expensive Tesla farm, Scout, we have to say. But either way, it is back to Vatang, and they have put Diff up onto the line. He is a player that went flawless himself last year in the World Finals. We have mentioned a couple of players did so. He was the only player to do so for Vatang. I hear you shouting yes. Is that because of the log launcher, Itzu?
Of course, let's go. The log launcher once again. Oh my god, it's just so fun to watch how those pros are using that, making sure that he's opening everything. And the next thing, obviously, with those logs, he's going to take down that Inferno Tower as well. And that's really, really nicely done. The Golem, meanwhile, is tanking, but this Inferno Tower is about to go down. And now let's see what exactly he's going to have in that log launcher, because he's taking down everything. Like, he's taking down those, like the enemy warden. He's taking down so much. And now we have another golem.
And a golem.
What is going on? The king should take
the
down the
queen!
town hall, and the queen is walking around as well to take down the Loveagain. Jugo, this attack once again is blowing my mind.
The queen did exactly what she needed to there, just stepping around to help secure the town hall. King gets it anyway, but the queen can get so much more value because he has the golem and the ice golem to tank. Inside the log launcher, it's incredible. It just opens up the pathing, and although the town hall is at the opposite side of the base, the troops almost beeline themselves there. Now look at this thin channel to the right-hand side of the base that the lava loon can be pushed through, and it means that the spells can be used so effectively. As we approach the multi-target inferno, the Grand Warden needs to catch up here. Thought he might have used the ability to tank through the Eagle Artillery and the multi, but decides to use it now as they start to split a little bit. Still plenty of spells left over, Itsu, and I think this again looks promising in this war.
This is not even fair anymore. What are those attacks? Like, he took down like half of the base just with that entry, with the lock dungeon and everything is swarming the backend of the space. He's investing in the freeze, just making sure that the backend is going down, and with 50 seconds left and the wizard still to place, in addition to that still the loon to place, I think Diff is still keeping his perfect hit rate, as you said, with the last event together. Oh my goodness, he's
the
zapping. I think it was the build
no,
or something.
It was this,
Wow, that
statue.
Please show us some more lock launcher attacks, because I have to say, they're just incredible to watch.
They certainly are. I think it was the Queen's Altar actually he used the lightning spell for, but wow. I mean, I am actually speechless. This final war is giving us so much excitement, and it is again back to method to madness. Now they need to 3-star yet again to keep themselves in this war, and yet if they do, they will be in the lead moving to the final moments. This one couldn't be any closer. We knew it was going to be a tight matchup, but wow, this one is proving to be one of the most exciting matches of today, if not the most exciting match.
Yeah, like, not only it's really close, there's like one thing which is obviously awesome, but as well like the level of the attacks. Like, I was expecting this kind of like non-stop over the tournament. But what those two teams right now is bringing to the table is just so impressive. Like, getting all of those plans, getting all of those ideas so quickly in such a short amount of time. Like, those teams don't have a long time to plan. You always have to keep that in mind. Like, normally, whenever someone is doing clan war, it's 24 hours. Obviously, coming up with a plan like this in 24 hours is already kind of cool. But doing this like in 45 minutes of, or like even less time of planning, like 10 to 15 minutes of planning, that is really impressive. Planning those lockdown angles, planning those lightning spells and everything. So let's see what method to madness is bringing up, because we have a ram this time, which is still pretty cool. But let's see if he's going to change that, because I feel like the ram not making too much sense right now. But well, the one walk seems to be for that town hall.
Yeah, the Super Witches is the method of choice. We've seen plenty of 3-stars, but we have seen with this strategy quite a few time fails as well, Itsu. And just as I say that, the Super Witches are deployed very quick on this one. Normally we have a 1-minute Grand Warden walk, but it is a 30-second walk. Grand Warden low on health here. The healer's still on the Grand... No, they have switched to the Super Witches, and the Grand Warden's ability goes off. He probably would have used it now anyway, maybe wanted to save it. The Grand Warden ability had to be used there due to his health.
Yeah, and now the blimp to get the town down. I feel like the town hall was activated by mistake, by something. I feel like a coke loon or something was dropping onto their town hall, which is obviously not the optimal thing, and the warden now does not really know which troop or which group of troops he should protect and help, because we have the Yeti with those Yeti mites at that town compartment, and now those witches slowly making their way into that core compartment. We have to jump on the back end. But there are so many Inferno Towers reaching into that core, dealing some damage, and this is going to be a rough finish for this attack.
It certainly is, particularly with that single target Inferno. I was half expecting him to send the Royal Champion in from the right side to try and get the single target Inferno, because currently it has taken out 3 of his 4 Super Witches. Or maybe 2 or 3 anyways. It took out a lot of them, and it has meant that the force moving into the backside of the base has just failed. He uses the invisibility spells for the Royal Champion. It's really tough to watch that, because Method to Madness now falling behind. And I wonder what would have happened if he sent the RC from the right side.
Yeah, I mean, he did not have too many spares, but I feel like even with taking the single Inferno Tower down, there was just too much left standing. The entry, I'm just super confused by that entry. He even freezed a couple of those Tesla in the beginning, which looked kind of strange to me, but I don't know, maybe something went wrong, something maybe did not work as expected. I'm not really sure either way, but this attack won't get the 3-star. And to be honest, it won't even get close to that, because the percent is really far off from what we would have expected from like a attack which failed. So percentage-wise, this is not a good push into this. And considering that they obviously are behind now on stars as well, this could be the Tang's game again, and if they go into 3-star and take it into their own hands, they have a pretty good shot at winning this match and getting into the next round.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Itsu, because the Tang now have the chance of just finishing this matchup off, whereas if they had a 3-star in the last one, their Method to Madness, it was out of Vatang's hands, if you will, because even if Vatang 3-starred, Method to Madness could then have finished the war off. So what it means is Vatang can finish this right now if they are to 3-star. But if not, then Method to Madness can still take it. It's anybody's game. And the next attack by Vatang is the most important now of the war.
Yeah, that's right. They can decide everything, and it's really, really tough to say, but I still hope for a really creative attack, because we have to say, like, the middle of this match was so explosive and so with so many creative attacks. Let's take a look. But we have another Queen Charge High, which is totally fine, because that's a cool strategy with that Queen Charge together. And we know that Urek is a really good Queen Charge expert. So let's take a look at if he's doing everything right, and if he can take down this air defense with his Yeti Mites, because that would be kind of cool for his Queen Charge going and moving forward.
Well, he does. He gets it down. And we have referenced earlier on in the stream that the highest hit rate tends to be towards the back end of the war. Maybe that statistic will flip after today's results. But either way, Urek is trying to finish this one off and give Vatang the victory. A beautiful super wall breaker gives his queen access to the inside of the base here as well. That will help out a little bit, but he still has one super wall breaker that he wants to get even further so that she can then reach the multi-target Inferno Itsu.
Yeah, but I feel like this wall break won't work. First off, obviously, he needs to keep his queen alive against all of those minions. He's going to use that poison for the goblins, and the wall break actually works. Okay, I'm buffed right now a little bit, because I would have never thought that wall break would go over there. But still, the super minions are still alive, now moving slowly into that poison. But there is so much damage, and the hybrid is starting already as well. Once again, with that tornado farm, or the tornado at that town hall.
The Queen's ability goes off, but she should be able to get the multi-target Inferno in the center. Grand Warden's ability protects the hybrid through the Town Hall and through the first fire of Eagle artillery shots. As everything moves through, now that the Queen has taken the inside, hybrid can just hoop around the base. Queen takes down the Tesla. She will fall in a second to the Expo, I believe. There she goes with the scatter shot, also doing damage. Hog Riders from the siege barracks here to reinforce, and it's all about the back end of the base now. He still has a heal spell, Itsu, and the Royal Champion's ability. Can he do this and get the victory for Vatang?
Yeah, and here's even the healers still left alive. They're healing as well, so we can delay the heal even longer. This is looking so good for Urek at this point. The Queen Charge got so much value, carving out the core of that base, making sure the pathing for those mines, for those Hogwarts is so perfect. With the Royal Champion ability still left alive. Judo, I think this is going to be enough. This is going to be the 3-star, which is going to decide this match. Vatang has done it with their incredible attacks. They have proven and they're going to get into the next round. No matter what, what Method to Madness is going to do in that next attack, because this is going to be crushing 3-star. That Queen Charge was just too OP for this base to handle.
Vatang are now, no doubt, the hybrid specialists. 2 of their attacks have literally ripped apart the bases of Method to Madness. With so many Hog Riders and Miners left over, he wanted to assure that they were definitely getting the victory and moving forward. So Vatang are the winners of this matchup, but we still have Method to Madness. Their final attack yesterday, Itsu, was arguably the most creative of the entire day, and you could say that now the pressure is off a little bit. He can take all of the risks and try and show us as viewers exactly what Method to Madness are made of.
That would be awesome to watch, obviously. Another launcher attack, and then like a cheeky lightning spell somewhere for an Inferno Tower. That would be pretty cool to watch. So looking forward to that. I hope they're going to show something off like that. But at the same time, obviously, you need to find those plans first. Let's see if they were somehow able to, or maybe they're going to fall back to something more reliable, like Queen Charge Hybrid. I feel like it worked really great for Vatang over this match, and they had a lot of nice charges. So let's see what the preferred strategy is going to be for Method to Madness, because so far they had a really widespread on strategies, like doing something of everything. So let's see. I'm still hoping for that log launcher though.
I agree. I think the log launcher is very underused, shall we say. Here you go. It is selected, Itsu, alongside a golem, an ice golem. He's wanting to push deep into the base here with the kill squad before setting up the lava loon, as we see lightning spells initially aiming for the scatter shot there and rotating them around to try and get some extra damage as well.
Yeah, now the next Earthquake to take that down. So let's see where exactly he's going to place this log launcher. I mean, he has a golem with him as well. So a lot of tanking power in addition to an ice golem. And now we have the king getting placed. The first wall break, couple of more loons. Let's see, maybe he's trying to push the queen in there. Not sure just yet. The king should walk into that compartment, even though the outside is not found that there perfectly. But the king, the king is walking inside. Now we have that log launcher opening up a ton, and he is once again sniping out this multi-inferno tower, finding the right angle, and that's exactly what is happening right now.
I think that one lightning will come to... Oh, he takes it down with that. Fantastic stuff. The lightning can be used for the headhunters. Perfect timing there to take that down. Just look at the wide angle he has been able to attack this base with the kill squad. There's barely anything left for the lava loon.
The base is gone.
This is incredible.
Just straight up gone.
I mean...
I can't believe my eyes. This is just incredible. Oh my god.
He nearly got the scatter shot there as well. That balloon moving in will probably get the scatter shot, meaning the lava loon has to deal with the town hall, basically. I know there's a couple of other defenses, but really nothing for this lava loon. He's got the warden ability in order to protect everything as he moves there. He can freeze it, he can haste the balloons to it. What an attack to finish off the day. Look at all of the traps in that area. It was a very baited town hall, perhaps for a battle blimp moving all of the way through. That would have been a nightmare. But for Method to Madness, they have done what they needed to on this last attack, given us a show. But wow, Itsu, this war was just incredible from start to finish.
I have to say, I feel like this was the best match we had over the last 2 days. Like, the match itself, how close it was, the attacks, like huge props to both teams, finding those entries so quickly, being able to execute those. Obviously, it's like one thing doing those crazy plans and like looking kind of silly when they're going wrong, but being able to find those plans, being able to execute those plans, this is not an easy task. But in the end, we have the winner with Vatang getting into the next round with a really crazy performance versus Method to Madness.